It is a privilege to introduce Dr. Doreen Miriam, founder and director of CIRF Chennai. She is a scientist who not only excels in now, it is a privilege to introduce Dr. Doreen Miriam, founder and director of CIRF Chennai. She is a scientist who not only excels in research, but has also built an institution that nurtures innovation and critical thinking. Her work spans multiple interdisciplinary fields, and she is known for translating scientific concepts into real-time application, benefiting students, industries, and communities. Her leadership has shaped countless young minds, and her vision continues to influence the research ecosystem of Tamil Nadu and beyond. I request ma'am to take the session forward.
Hello all, good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, it's
Yeah,
audible.
thank you so much. And on behalf of Thiagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai, and the coordinators, Dr. Felicia and the team, for inviting me for this session. It is going to be a 2-hour session. All right. Before we begin the session, can you introduce yourself on the chat? Your name, which department, whether you're faculty or student. Yes, please. Okay, how are you all doing today? Okay, I could see Priya, Thiagarajan, okay. Others, I hope you are all joined. Nitya, okay, assistant professor from Kamarajar. Thank you, Emperor. Yes, Sachin V. Yes, please. Others? Okay, how are you all doing today? Answers on chat, please. Quick. How are you all doing today? Thank you, Mahalakshmi, research scholar from Thiagarajar College. All right. Priya Thiagarajan, AP. Okay, from Thiagarajan College. So Kenya from KLM. All right. Raj, professor from assistant professor from Kamaraj. Thank you. Balaji from ADS. All right. Kamarajar College. Thank you. Others? All right. So I'm going to ask you all a question today. See, we are going to see on the first session is all about data pre-processing and feature engineering. All right. And how are you all doing today? In one word, I need a reply on the chat. Yes, please. How are you all doing today? Or you can also unmute and speak. Good. Thank you, Felicia. Others, quick. Those who could have your cameras on, you could keep your cameras on. Program analyst from Red Grape. Thank you. Manon Mani Muthukumar. Great. Thank you. Fine, ma'am. Thank you. See, these are some beautiful data that we are going to get, right? So even from our own chat, you can see different types of data. The data pre-processing is how are you going to separate those data and take to needed content from the data, and also how to compute feature engineering. All right. This is about your data pre-processing and feature engineering is an important content that you're going to see for this. Right. Before I begin my session, I'm going to ask you all, how many of you connected with your laptops? Type L on the chat. right? If you're connected with your PCs, type P on the chat. But I said last time with the coordinators, mobile don't want. If it is mobile, type M on the chat. Thank you, ma'am. Others quick, only one response. Only one letter I need. PC is P, laptop is L, mobile is M. Quick, please. Quick. All right. As they're responding, can one of you unmute and say what were the concepts that you learned yesterday? Most of your laptop, which means you can keep your cameras on laptop. All right. I've received 5 responses. Yes, please. Can one of you say what were the concepts that you learned yesterday? Or on the chat also is fine. Yes, please. All right. At least 1 or 3 words. What what was the concepts that held discussed yesterday? Can you, any one of you even unmute and speak? That's also is fine. Hello. All right. Can you, any one of you unmute and tell just 3 topics or 3 words, your key takeaways from yesterday? Am I audible? I hope I'm audible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. So today, let's see, before I begin my session, I'll be showing you a image, right? Listen carefully. I'll be showing you an image. I'll give you 15 seconds, and post which either you can raise hands, unmute and say what's the mistake, and yeah, that will go. Otherwise, you can also go with the chat. All right, shall we begin? All right. Look onto this picture and find out the mistakes. 15 seconds will be given. Yes, time done. Can you tell what's the mistake? Can you tell me what was the mistake? Weight balance. Yes, Nitya ma'am, weight balance. Feel free to unmute and speak. Right? Those who could keep your cameras on, kindly keep your cameras on. What were the other mistakes? Quick, please. Sikram. Only one was a mistake. What was the mistake, Nitya ma'am, on the weight balance? See, don't fear, you can speak. No fire, thank you. Well done, Priya Thiagarajan. All right. Fire for empty pan. All right. That's right. And then only 2 have responded out of 24. What's the reason? Others? Dog in kitchen near food. Thank you so much. All right. So the mistakes are the pot is boiling with an unlit burner. The girl is eating soup with a fork, and the scales are at 0 despite of heavy weight. All right. There were 2 persons who answered to this. Fork for soup. Okay. Yeah, Felicia also answered. So you're able to figure out because listen carefully. You know the fact. Listen carefully. You know the fact. A vessel, a pot cannot boil without fire. All right. And the second is you have a weight on the weighing machine, but it doesn't work because you know there could be some kgs. All right. And the third is you cannot eat soup with a fork. All right. See, when you see fork individually, it's used to eat, and there is a soup. But when it is both combined, it is not used, right? So same way when you're going to work with your data sets, right? We have got huge volumes of data sets, right? For every day when you're processing onto it. And this is the first step on data science, right? How do you find the data, right? How do you curate the data? What are the pre-processing and feature engineering? This is very, very essential before you kickstart with your machine learning algorithm or deep learning algorithm or Gen AI algorithm, right? A few of the concepts that we'll be seeing today. All right. So thank you so much for your participation. I wish others also to participate. All right. Once again, if you're able to switch on your cameras, keep your cameras on. All right. So when you're going to see when you're going Python for AI and ML, this is the very very first step. Most of you are doctorates. You should have done a few programs onto it for your final PhDs. All right, and some of you are learning to it. That is also fine. All right, and you know, machine learning. The first step when you take a data sets, right? When you take a data sets is a very, very essential task. And how do you process your data sets and what are the features? What is feature engineering? The best features that you need, right? The best features that you need. So when you take data, right? Data pre-processing, you start with a process of cleaning, transforming and preparing raw data before you apply to your ML or DL or GenAI, whatever the algorithm. Without cleaning, listen carefully, without cleaning, the quality of data does not ensure your model, right? Say for example, if you are, how many of you know cooking? Click raise hands. How many of you know cooking or experience cooking at home? All right. So you all do cooking, right? Say for example, whether it is going to be veg or non-veg, whatever it is. Can you prepare the food without cleaning it? Without pre-processing it, yes or no? N means type N on the chat. S means type Y on the chat. But quick, please. Even a small food, if you're going to cook, you cannot use it without cleaning it. Without, say, for example, if you're going to prepare a non-vegetarian, you clean it, you pre-process it with turmeric or ginger garlic paste before you cook it, right? So, same way, once if it is done without cleaning, you know the quality of the food is not up to the mark. Able to understand. So that's for a very real-time example if you see to it. But here you are going to process with huge volumes of data. When you take data from real time, whether you're going to take data from a satellite, all right, or you're going to take data from sensors, all right, if you're going to take data from sensors, most of the data, some columns could be incomplete or some could be inconsistent. Inconsistent means you may have data that have those special characters. So you need to curate those data. And some data are very noisy. Which is noisy, we call it as outliers. Say, for example, I want everybody to answer to this question. What would be the minimum age of a person, of a human? What could be the minimum age of a human? What could be the minimum? Minimum and maximum. Nitya ma'am jump to maximum. Minimum how much could be and maximum how much could be? Okay. Others? 1 to 90 or 0.1. Say for example, if you're going to baby is going to have for a day or so, then you say it as something like that. All right. So you know for sure it is going to be 1 maximum 90. Say for example, can it have like 500? 500 could be the age of a person. Yes or no? No, you cannot have it, right? You cannot have it. Yeah, that's why, say, for example, you take a data set and the data set is going to have more than 5,000, right? As in their 5,000 or 500 in their age column, which means it is an outlier. That is what we call it as noisy data. Right, categorical data, which means, say for example, if I take a data and then if it has got data sets, all right, which has like yes or no, diabetes, yes or no, your machine learning cannot understand yes or no. Say for example, if I'm going to have it like yes, no, it cannot understand, right? It cannot understand. So I need to convert to zeros and ones. Sometimes if it is going to be more, I have to redo it. So this is what you get. How many of you have the habit of seeing the climatic condition? Climate in Madurai or something. Do you have the habit, or you only see to what do I say? You see to whether it is when you come to college, with that we don't see whatever it is working or not working. Schools, colleges, and for faculties, even if it is working, if it is sleep, it is working, right? Say for example, if I'm going to see today's temperature, the climate in Madurai. I hope my screen is seen, right? All right, yeah, it's seen. So, இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, today it shows the temperature is 29 degrees Celsius. All right. And then when you come down, you can see hourly how the temperature is going to go. All right. And how it is going to be tomorrow. All right. And how it is going to day after and followingly. And also you can see the air quality. All right. Dust. And when you see to it, you can also see how it is on a monthly. I'm checking for Madurai. So you see we are on 25th. How the climate will be on 26th. Can you see to it? Farida? So you can also see how it is going to be in December 2025. How, my question, being a computer science professor or a research scholar or from any corporate, whatever it is, right? How are these data generated? Just think for yourself. Don't ask Gemini or ChatGPT. Just think for yourself and can you tell me, say for example, if I'm going to see how the 30th, December 30th is going to be at Madurai. It shows me the temperature and also how at night it is going to be and what is the sun and the forecast high and low. All right. Can you think and say how this has been computed? Just the climatic predictions, how it has been computed. யாரும் பேசவே மாட்டேங்கிறீங்க. You can speak, don't worry, it's only going to be a discussion. You could be right, you could be wrong, no problem. Just think and answer. Either in chat or you can unmute and speak, please. You're able to understand the question? You're able to understand the question? Anybody could answer? Nobody? Unmute பண்ணி சொல்லுங்க. Or it will be one-way communication. Yes, please. How are these data computed? They're all professors, right? We ask so many questions to our students. Due to prediction algorithm, thank you. That's your coordinator. Others. All right. They take their data from the meteorological center. I don't know how many of you have seen Indian Meteorological Center. We have one in Chennai too. All right, we have one in Chennai too. So these people, they work with, can you see satellite images? All right, and they work with huge volumes of data, and they take the data from satellite. Can you see a satellite radars? Yeah. So here you can see to it, and they take the data. When you take data from a satellite, all right, you will also have some junk values. So here, which is mandatory that you need to process your data, curate the data, and do feature engineering. What is only needed alone will be taken. This is how you get your image. Can you see? Instant thermal infrared count 10.83 UM, and it is on 2511 GMT. Alright, so this is the data they take it. Alright, and then they find out what is needed and non-visible, and they see, can you see the water vapors, cloud top temperature, infrared one, how it is in India, how it is on the global, and also I've got animations. Alright, can you see to it? And what is visible? So just for an example, I'm taking it, right? I've taken it for an example. Can you see the satellite from 2511 as it is changing from IST from morning 6, 8:15, 9:42? All right, you can see to it. So this is how your data you get it, right? When you get those data of this sort, all right, then you need to, this is the real world data. For an example, I've shown you. From that, they process it and they have the previous year's data, 5, 10 years. If the satellite has given these kinds of value, what was the temperature before? And then they recompute it, and it's not exact what they've given in AccuWeather. You have plus or minus, but it could be onto the range of it. Able to understand? So these people take data from the radars, they take data from satellite, which also has a lot of junk values that comes along with it. Able to understand? So sometimes it will be incomplete, sometimes it will be of wrong formats, but our first thing we have to work with these, and then you go on for feature engineering. Is it clear till now? All right. So what are the steps for data pre-processing? First is data profiling. Where do you take your data? Your quality of data is very important. Say for example, if you buy a dress of a higher rate, you know the quality of the cloth is good and it lasts longer. But if you get it for a lesser price, it doesn't last longer. Again, when you're again taking example of cooking, the ingredients, the quality of the ingredients of the cooking is very important for the taste, flavor, and the health. All right. So, for example, the ingredients are very important. So, you should always know from where you need to take data. All right. Some of you are already working into data science. How many of you worked in data science? Any machine learning project, at least one project that you have developed. Can you click raise hands? 1, 2, 3 others. Mohan Priya ma'am, Soma Sundari ma'am, Felicia ma'am. Yes, please. Yeah, okay. All of you can put your hands, lower your hands. But now, can any one of you say, I have never worked with machine learning, this is new to me? If it is new, type N on the chat. Because we are planning to have a hands-on, so that's what I'm asking. If you have not worked with any of the machine learning algorithms, if you are new to it, type N on the chat, which means, yeah, thank you, Sachin. Others, one letter is also fine, N. If you already know, type K on the chat. New, all right. So then I will focus others. So many of you see, when I spend my time, I always think it should not go future. All right, you should also. So most of you are new, only three, four. All right, I want quick responses from everyone. All right, that I always expect. I was also into teaching field for a decade. All right, and then I started this company where we work on research, development, education, and training by and large. So per year we train around more than 20,000 people around the world, both faculty, students, and corporates. All right, so I always find people to be more quicker. So data profiling, how and from where you take your data is very important. I'll also show you websites because some of you are beginners will go from the basics where you can take the data, and then you need to clean your data, right? Where you know what is cleaning, if it is going to have missing values, it is going to have outliers, or if it is going to have junk values, right? And then you reduce your data, then you go on for data redaction. Then how do you transform your data? Data transformation, that is where you come in for your converting a categorical data into numerical data. Data enrichment, where you can do the scaling up of standard scalars or scaling up of data or min-max scalar, and you validate your data. So is it clear? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. These are the basic skeleton of data pre-processing. All right. Yes. All right. So why it is needed? Because if you want a machine learning to work, give you a good accuracy, you cannot work with dirty or unprocessed data. I always, because when I do counseling, I always give this example to my people. Say, for example, if a room is so dirty, can you live in that room? First, what we should do? If the things are not arranged, first and foremost, we need to clean the room, and then only we can make the room to be usable, right? I always say to people, keep your mind also like that. Keep your mind clean. Don't make, some of us, we keep our mind so dirty, thinking what others will think. What if you keep your mind clean, then you can also work faster, right? So for ML algorithm also, though it's not a human, it can work only with cleaned data, right? So it accurate, if it is done without reprocessing, your accuracy will be decreased, or your model would be under biased or over biased, all right, and the results become unreliable. So now let's see, if say for example, this is an example, if you're going to have a raw data set of John, age, salary, gender, and purchase, right? Say for example, this is whether they've done the sales or not, right? Can you tell me what are not the pre-processed data? What is NAN? For those who are new, you can make a note of it. It is not a number. NAN is not a number. So what is missing here? One age is missing, and in salary again, can you see an NAN here? So you see a missing in salary, and you see the gender and the purchase is categorical. புரியுறதா? Your machines cannot understand. You can give male for 0, female for 1, yes for 0. That we call it as label encoders. If the number of categories are going to be more, you have got automized label encoders also available. So what is this pre-processing? What is NAN? It is not a number. All right. And then in salary also one data is missing. All right. And then when you see to it, and gender and purchase dot categorical. So the strings are, you cannot use it. So what we are going to do? So here we are going, and values on different scales, age versus salary, right? 28 has got 50,000 salary, 42 has got 72,000 salary. All right. So values are little differing on both. Now you see data processing, the first and the first step in your AI algorithm. So clean data, I said, better accuracy and better performance, right? So how do you convert it? So here what we have done, we have missing values filled with this encoding and scaling. So missing values I have filled. Can you see? you can convert your missing values using a mean or median or mode, or using a most frequently values also could be done. And we have done an encoding. Can you see using dummies 1001, which means one is male and the second one is female, third is male and fourth is female. Can you see? Male, female. And again say, for example, yes, yes, no is 0 and yes. Purchase yes and purchase no. Alright. So this is how you will be able to do your data cleaning. Right. So before we begin, let's see how to load a data set. Can you all open colab.research.google.com? colab.research.google.com. I've given the link on the chat. Once you get, because you're all on the Google Meet, which means eventually you're on Gmail, and Google is giving this as a free product. And beneath, can you see new notebook? Click on new notebook. Click on new notebook. Here you can rename it as, what is this? You can rename it how much you want, but I'm going to rename it as, this is Thiagarajar College of Engineering, FDP 25. So first I'm going to import a package which is called as pandas, Python for data analysis. So type import pandas as PD and click this play button. Once it runs properly, you will get this number 1, the cell number 1. If you have opened a Colab, if you have created a new notebook, step 2. Step 3, rename the file. Step 4, if you have given import pandas as PD and run the file and you got the cell number 1, type on the chat done. Quick please. One, two, three, done. Others? All right. So Panda stands for Python for data analysis, right? So Pandas is very important package that we will be using, that is used for Python for data analysis, right? So that's what we call Pandas. It's generally used to analyze your data, right? Don't think the other Pandas. It is not that Panda. It is a package, right? It is a package. So next I'm going to use a self data set. So for data visualization, there is a package called Seaborn. I'm going to import the second package, import Seaborn as SNS. Run it. I'm sorry. If you have done, type down on the chat. All right. I'm going to use the data set that is available. Have you done till now? Okay. Only 3 or 4 are answering. What about others? You are passively connected. Okay. See, I first imported pandas. This is for Python for data analysis, right? This package is for analysis. This package is for visualization. And here, this itself has got different set of data sets, right? So can you see SNS dot get underscore data set names? I'm going to use the Titanic data set that is given here. So SNS dot get underscore data set underscore names. If you've done till this, give done on the chat. To know what are the different data sets available. Okay. Okay. So now let's learn. We have taken packages, Python packages, pandas for data analysis. Actually, Seaborn is for visualization. All right. But now I'm going to take Seaborn for, no, we are not going to see on visualization. I probably think there'll be some faculty who may handle it. All right. And from Seaborn itself, they have given a lot of data sets. All right, they have given a lot of data sets for us to train ourselves. There are different ways you can take data sets, I eventually say. But here I'm going to take this data set called as Titanic. So DF I'm declaring, which is equal to, I've already taken Seaborn, I've taken an aliasing name, load underscore data set Titanic. All right. So I have to find what if I give shape. Python pandas are called attributes and methods. So I'm going to use one of the attribute to find how many rows and columns. 891 rows and 15 columns. So if I give head df dot head of, I get, so you know Titanic, how many survive? All right, what is this? How many? Which class their passengers travel, first class, second class, third class, which gender they belong to, what was their age, whether they were siblings with them or parents with them, what was the fare, all right, and where did they embark, what class. See, in the third class, here you can see third class. Gender or adult is male, from which deck they have done, and whether which town they have embarked, whether they were alive or not alive. You know, Titanic story was a tragic story, and alone or somebody was there with him. All right. So try this. SNS.load dataset of Titanic, and then df.shape will tell you the rows and columns. 1, 2, 3 lines. Quick, please. Thank you, Sukanya ma'am. Others, unknown money ma'am. Thank you, Felicia. I'm going from basics. Why? Because most of you said you are new to it. Some of you are active and some are not getting any response. So it is done, right? Say for example, now you try how can you load this data set called tips. This is hotel tips data set. I can show you. How do you do df1? You cannot use the same variable, which is equal to sns dot load data set of tips. Here I gave df, right? So I'm giving df1. Now I can see df1 dot shape. How many rows and columns? 244 rows and 7 columns. And df1 dot head off. Head off will show me the first 5 rows. Tail off will show me the last 5 rows. So how much is the bill? What was the tip they've given? Whether it's a gender, male or female, whether they are smoker or a non-smoker, which day they came for the hotel, and whether it's a lunch or dinner, and what is the how many people were there. You can try one more. DF is for Titanic data set. DF1, just I showed you how you can load even one more data set. Which code? Previous code? You want the Titanic code? All right. Is this one? Any doubts you can ask now. If you have got any doubts, you can ask now. Load data set, the first one. How do you load a data set? DF. Done. This is how you load your data set. And this is how you import your packages. This I just showed you for you to understand how do you get your data sets. Import data set, cbond, get data sets. Then, oops, it becomes so big. Then how do you load your data set? 2 data sets we have loaded. First, let's see how to find missing values. So very simple. Df dot is null dot is a pandas method. That's what we imported pandas. Dot sum of will show me whether there are missing packets. So you can see which has got missing values is null dot sum of. How many null will give me in booleans, yes or no. Dot sum of will count the number of yes or no. How if it is no. So you can see age has got 177 missing values. Embark has got 2 missing values, and deck has got 688 missing values, and embark town has got 2 missing values. Let me try for the other one. DF1 is for the tips is null dot sum of. Here you see there is no missing values. So the data is very clean here. Able to understand? Does not have missing values, but rather here you have got categorical values that you need to convert. But now when you see your Titanic data set, it has got missing values. Able to understand? This is a very, very simple code to find missing values. So df dot is null dot sum of. Check it out. Have you tried for both? Done? All right. Thank you. Now we are able to find whether it has your missing values or not. All right. And how do you process it, right? How are you going to process it? So, say for example, deck or cabin. Here you see it has got more missing values, right? It has got more missing values. So, what we can do if you don't want that column? See 688. What is the, listen carefully, what is our total count? It's 891. If you're going to handle with more missing values, listen carefully. We're going to handle with more missing values. Then the value itself, though you compute it, right, it is going to be of a larger data is going to be misleading. So one easiest method, right, one very, very easiest method is to drop the column. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop that column. All right. So df.drop columns is equal to the column name. Now if I see df.head of, I will not have the deck. Terida. Before I had deck here, this one, right? And I've got those embarkment in another. So, and also it has got lot of null values. Even though I'm going to compute with those null values, it is not going to be of use. So, this is how you can remove, because out of 800, 600 is of null values. So, even though if you process it, is the answers, the machine learning algorithm is going to be misleading. So, one of the simplest method, if the not always, listen carefully, not always, if the numbers or number of values of missings are going to be high and that is not that great feature, then one of the easiest method is to drop. So df is equal to df dot drop. Then I have to give columns, that's a keyword, equal to the column name. Try this. All right, done till this. Thank you, Manoman. Others? Yes, thank you. Most of you have done. All right. And now, all right. Now, if I'm going to see this again, df dot is null dot sum of. So is null of dot sum of. இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா your age has got 177. So 1 I've removed because it's more than 600 out of 800. So now I have to focus on my age. Now listen carefully. What are the different methods? There are different imputation methods. All right. Now I'm going to focus on this age now. Right. How am I going to work on with the age? All right. How am I going to work on with my age? So what are the different methods that I could do? I told you you can do it with mean, median and mode, right? Mean, median and mode. So there are a lot of null values. So I can either use a mean or I can also use a median. All right. So let's work on with that. I'll give you the code. I can fill age dot fill NA wherever it is not available. How many not available? 177 not available. Is it clear? 177 not available. So I'm going to fill it with median. So what is median? It takes the median of the values and fills it. Otherwise, if you want to mean, you can use mean here. All right. Let's try with median. Okay. Now if I find df dot is null dot sum of all those blank, can you see now age is become 0. You can either try median or you can try with mean. So I'm giving my column df dot age dot fill NA, df dot age dot median in place true. Wherever not available is true, I'm going to take my median of the value and say if you want to try with mean, this is the coding for me. Now let's try. All right, keep trying. Once you have completed, you've done on the chat. Thank you, Mohana ma'am, Monmani ma'am. What about others? There are so many people, there is no response. They're very silent. Or you got connected and you left. Yes, please. Any doubts till now? Yes or no? Any doubts till now? Any doubts till now? Yes, no? Now we have df dot head of. Now you see gender has got categorical values. All right. And others have got categorical values. So only embarked, right? Embarked and embarked town has got different. So we can use the filling values in embarked with mode. df of embarked dot fill in a embarked dot mode of 0. Right? Now if I try df dot is null of dot sum of. Let's drop embark town because embark itself is giving me whether it is Southampton or Cherbourg, and there's one more. So I can drop that column, right? Repeated columns I can draw. And also gender, I have male and female. One I can have, one others I can draw. All right. Now if I'm going to give C, even embark, there's no. Everything has come out. That we can drop that column. Now we have seen it's not only for this data set, listen carefully. We have seen how to use mean, but we have not tried. We have tried with median, and the final one is mode. So these are the three methods for a beginner to convert to missing values using mean, median, and mode. Now try for the embark. So we have seen how to load data set from Seaborn and using pandas, a few methods, and also how to, if the number of missing values are more, how to drop the columns. Eventually, we have seen how to fill the values of NA and not available, not a number with mean, median, and mode. Once you have completed, it down on the chat. Okay. Only getting a response from 3 or 4. I don't know what about others. Is it clear till now or any doubts? Is it clear? Is there doubts? Yes or no? We have doubts? Yes or no? If you don't have doubts, type ND on the chat. No doubts. If you have doubts, type YD. Okay. I'm not sure whether I'm going fast, I'm going slow. All right. And yeah. So this is how were some of the methods how you'd be handling missing values. This very important step, right? You know, I always say data pre-processing and feature engineering are heavy, heavy topics to be handled, and you have got so much and so more to handle. All right, so much and so more to handle on to it. As you some of you are beginners, so we are just seeing to it what are the features, sorry, what are the basic things that you could learn through it, just to have a hands-on from it. All right, so next let's move on to. So now you understood what is this fill NA with age with mean, but this is a different data set, median and mode. But you're able to understand, right? This one, how you do with your missing values. So detecting missing values, how to detect, there are different visualizations that also you can see to it, right? How do you visualize of having a missing values onto it, right? So that is also, we use different packages, not missing and more, as we don't have much time. I'm not going deep into it, right? I'm not going deep into it, but still you can use on with that, right? You can use on with that, how it works, right? And so what is NaN? NaN is not a number. Sometimes we'll have empty strings or some junk values, as I say, when you take data from the satellite, or nothing will be there, or there will be an empty space or some symbols. So this detecting missing value is very important to understand the data quality and what are the different imputation. What is imputation? We try to give values to it, and what are the right preprocessing. So what are the listen carefully, what are the different methods to replace the missing values. So, say for example, if your data is roughly linear, right, and then yes, you go for linear regressions. No, if there is any other trend setters, right? You would have learned about Google Trend. Have you seen any Google Trend settings? Google Trending பார்த்திருக்கீங்களா? Have you heard about this? Have you heard about this Google Trends? Yes, no. You also feel free to unmute and speak. In all my live sessions, I always keep my cameras on, so I feel it is more personalized. That's what I always tell participants: keep your cameras on. All right. Say, for example, Google Trends, right? Yeah, explore the world. What is the latest trend? You know, this person typed Dharmendra news, so you can see that's the latest trend now. All right. So what are the trends, and these are the basics that you can find through it, right? You can explore topics, maybe any top. Can you give see what's trending now? It will see Dharmendra news. So how many people are searching about it? And then Man United versus Everton. How many people today active trends? Ethiopia volcanic eruptions, right? And you can see Sunny, the South African team. So this is about past 24 hours. Can you see? You can also see like past 4 hours what was the most trend and in which category you want to learn. Say for example, a job and education because you are on to job and education. All right, you can see what is the latest trends. PPU rules to curb plagiarism in PhD thesis, Times of India. All right, able to understand? Say for example, if you want, can you choose any one? If I'm going to give all categories, law or let me see, uh, climate. All right, see how is the climate and what is the trending last. So and also you can keep it like, so you can see with your time. November 25. இது யாராவது பார்த்துருக்கீங்களா? Or if I'm going to give past 7 days, cyclone. I've given India, but here you can click on and give whichever country you want. All right, whichever country you want. I'm going to put all categories. England versus Australia. All right, what is trending in India? Say for example, it will change. Say for example, if you want to find what is trending in Germany, it's totally going to, because a region, democratic region is different. What the search of people is going to be different. Able to understand, there's a lot of machine learning algorithm that runs behind this. What runs behind this is your machine learning. As say, for example, if I'm going to take United States, 7 days, it's going to be something so different. All right, so 7 days in last 7 days, let's see the category of jobs and education. So Department of Education, student loans, STEM and university. Able to understand? But what runs? Again, it takes the data, it processes the data, takes only the needed features, and then computes. And that who searches for every, you have got different algorithms called as, you can copy this trends to a clipboard or you can copy to a CSV also. Alright, what is CSV? You know, comma separated values. And that data set also you can take it out and then upload it and start working on it. Alright. See, we are in AI. Let's see how your searches, how do you look for it, right? Then this is becoming very famous now. AI for web designs. The recent search, can you see? From this is from US they have taken. Right? You can also see what happens in India. You can download this, and when you're going for research, you can focus on this also. So you have seen this. All right. there are different other methods. Now we have seen how it happens and what are the different methods. So what are the different methods to handle your mean median? One method that we have seen is if you are going to have many values, you are going to drop it, or you can have it like mean, median, mode imputations. You can have forward fill, backward fill, all right, and dropping rows and columns. So what we have tried in today's session, so we have tried dropping a column, we have tried all these three imputations. Able to understand? Yes? All right. There's not much response from you people. All right. And also handling outliers. All right. As we don't have much time. And outliers are extreme values, either on the positive or on the negative. If your data set is going to be 3D, then it's also going to be on a Z axis, XYZ axis. We use inner quartile method, IQR, or Z score method, or capping, Winsorization method, or removing or transforming. Removing or transforming values also could be done. All right. So how they are going to be, what you can group it and then try to find which data are much needed, which are not needed. All right. And to find outliers, we are generally use a box and plot, right? Box plot or a box and plot to find out if there are any outliers. These box and plot comes with your what is that? With your C bomb, right? With your C bomb. So what are the columns we have? Survival P class, right? So if I want SNS dot count plot of X is equal to, I'm going to have how many survived, right? Survived, comma, data equal to DF. So this will show me. Can you see what is the inference from this? Number of people, 0 is number of people who died. 1 is how many survived. Number of people died is more than the number of people survived. Able to understand? It's so big. Let me reduce the size. You can also use a box plot also. All right. So SNS dot what count plot will do? It does the value counts. How many values are 0, and then from this part, this kind of visualization to this, you can see how many survived, how many have got died, right? How many died. You can also have SNS dot box plot or box and plot. How many survived and what is their age? Can you see? It's almost same. These people who died. So these dots you see above, right? Those are outliers. Not much onto that range. Now you can try box count plot and then box plot. Try count plot. I told that is used for visualization. Yes. If you have done, give done on the chat. Done? Okay. Now you can try how this X have given survived, Y have given age. So you can see the minimum people who have survived is a little less than 20 and 30. You can change these values X and Y. This is box plot to find outliers. There's one person who are alive was on 80 years and those who died was 70s, between 70s to 80s. All right. Once you have done, let me know. Yes, you have done. Thank you. So this is how you can also handle outliers, right? You can also handle outliers. I'm not going deep into it. And encoding, right? Encoding is very simple. How do you convert your text to numerics? And also you can use one hot encoding or ordinal encoding or Rabel encoding or frequency encoding. This is very, very important step in missing values, right? Sorry, in data pre-processing. And one hot or label encoding, ordinal and frequency encoding. The fourth one is scaling of features. Say, for example, if your data are on not linear scales, if they are of different, see, age is like 24, 25, salary is like 35, 45. So the different columns have different range. So when you do a scaling, it makes your machine learning perform better. So we use Z-score scaling, or you have minimum scaling, or max scaling, or standard scaling, min-max scaling, robust scaling. So these are scaling of data, because you should always understand whatever your data are going to feed is going to be for the machine. One thing that is different from human and the AI is, I believe human, we have some common sense, all right, that we need to apply on to it, right? So data cleaning is that inconsistent data. It's a very, very simple example. Age cannot be more than 500 or 5,000. And also you have to drop duplicates, right? There's a method to drop duplicates. That's pretty easy. Let's see to it. Okay, df dot shape. All right, how much we have? 891. If it is going to be df dot drop underscore duplicates. All right, in place true. So I'm going to give df equal type. I'm assigning it back. So otherwise it will drop duplicates. We will not be able to see. Now if you're going to see the shape, df dot drop duplicates. 1 minute, I delete this. So once any error comes, if you again I need to run through the data set, right? Run through the data set. Hope it is running. So first we can see to it. Let us run till this. Okay. df underscore 1 is equal to df dot drop duplicates. Okay, drop duplicates. If I'm going to give df dot shape, we'll have the original shape 891. df underscore 1 dot shape. Can you see there's a difference here in df1 and df, which means these were duplicates data. You are taking your data to do a different analysis for a new data set, not for this. So your data sets is very, very important. You see to it, there were duplicates. DF is my old file that I loaded from Seaborn for Titanic. I'm giving DF dot drop duplicates and assigning to DF underscore 1. Can you see the difference in the number of rows? If the values are exactly the same, it will remove. That is what DF drop duplicates does. Can you try? Others try, please. Hello? Um, I'm in a meeting now. Online meeting for this one. You can take them. Have you all tried? And the response is from 2. Yes, and then also typos are invalid. So I showed you an example how to remove duplicates. All right, how to create meaningful features. Right, binning according to age wise, you can also use histograms. Log transforms could be done, and also daytime features. From daytime, you can take date separate, time separate. From month analysis, you can do. All right. Feature selection is very important. What are the most important features? Say, for example, here where they embarked, what is the price, whether there's a correlation between the class they traveled and they were surviving or they died. All right. Say, for example, in the school, in your college, if how many students have written their exams, which subjects they're performing well, and then we can see to it, right? And you can also remove irrelevant data. Say for example, if you're going to analyze the marks of students, the Aadhaar card, the blood group, the father name, mother name, their occupation, annual income does not going to play a feature, right? So you can remove those feature and take only those feature. You can use chi-square ANOVA. Remember, you should have learned in your probability RFE, that is recursively feature elimination. So what are the unwanted features in each iteration? We could remove it off. And correlation, which has got strong correlation. Maybe in the afternoon session, if you have time, I can show you how you generate heat maps, and from there, what are the correlation methods could be taken. All right. So for especially for pre-processing, these are the major data. Say for example, pandas that we have used, pandas for analysis. We use data CPON for visualization, and for data set also we have used this. Matplotlib is a lower level uh, data visualization. CPON is a higher level. TensorFlow, Keras for deep learning, NumPy is for numerical. If you want to work with Fourier series, Fourier transforms, NumPy, SciPy can be used for mathematical functions, right? And also PyTorch for machine learning, SQL, how to interact with your SQL databases. If you want to scrap data from websites and then convert that to be a data set, and then you perform your data pre-processing and your feature engineering, then you can use scrap. All right. So missing values or data that are not stored, it could be an odd number, null value, or an empty cell, or invalid values. Sometimes it could be due to human errors also. So, or due to sensor malfunctioning. Say for example, I showed you a picture of where there was weight, and but there were no, the weighing machine was not seen properly. All right, and sometimes sensitive data, conditional missing data, and survey design or sampling issues. So types of missing data, we call it as MCAR, MAR, MNAR. So what is missing? Missing completely at random, or missing at random, missing not at random. So you saw today we have seen lot of random values on deck, and also age was there, but we computed using median method, and also for impact for mode method. All right. So we have tried this after missing. How do you detect? I showed you this, I remember. Outliers. So outliers, when you say where the data points are significantly different from the rest of it, right? That's what they are, maybe too high or too low. Remember, I showed you an example of age, all right, and they don't follow the general patterns, right? So they are not in the center clusters of data. So numerical data, we outliers appears in age, salary, marks, or height of a person. All right, statistical distribution values differ from mean and median. So here you see people on a company getting 50,000, 52,000. How one can also can have 900,000. So 900,000 is an outlier because it's extremely high error. It could be a typo, a typing error, or it could be a faulty device mistake, or wrong population, or bad values. So this outliers also plays a vital role. See, we can use it using IQR methods or feature engineering, right? So IQR is interquartile range. So what is the top 25%, 50%, 75%? And IQR is the difference between Q3 minus Q1. So they find it out, is there any values outside these limits? It is considered as outliers. So to find outliers, I already said box plot, box and plot also could be used. So I'm defining my salary, what is a quantile and what is the second quantile, and I have to calculate Q3 minus Q1. And this IQR works for numerical values. All right. And then what was their outliers boundary? So lower limit and the higher limit. Then if it is going to be more than less than the lower limit, more than the higher limit, you remove it. This is how you can remove your IQR, right? Outliers. And the next is binning. So, or we call as discrimination, right? So, continuously numerical variables into continuous bins, the age sectors, right? Handling noises, if there are more noise on the data, or model stability, and also creating categories from continuous variables, right? And also being better interpretations, right? So, ages like 23, 23, and 24 can be grouped into young, adult, and senior. So how do you group up with your data? So you can use it pd.cut, right? So that's what we call it as binning of divides bins into equal size of ages. How many bins I want? Accordingly, from my data set, it does your bins, right? How many bins if I want? Accordingly, the number of bins also could be taken. Okay. We can also try. Oops. Hmm. And you can also have customized bins. I'm going to give like this: child, young, adult, and senior. So it does according with your label. So your example, how many young will be there, how many adults will be there, and how many seniors are there. Able to get it? Okay. Equal frequency binning. This we call as a quantile binning. So each contains equal number of data points. So P D dot Q cut DF dot HQ is equal to 4. Accordingly, it plus, right? And label binning. How do you want to bill it? Salary, low salary, medium salary, high salary. So I'm going to give 3 bins. So your output will be how many on the low salary from your entire data set. It will be huge volumes of data, even hundred thousands of data. So when do you use this binning? When do you want to? Because you're processing the data to feed, you're pre-processing for your machine learning, right? So how do you convert this numerical data to categorical data? You can also see the house prices, how it changes, the land values between years, how the same values are in 10 years before, 5 years before, and how it will be the next. You can also predict, right? Simplifies data and noises, and also influences any outliers by decreasing extreme values, right? So here, these when data shows a non-linear patterns on raw data. All right, here you can use for segmentations, whether the sales, if you take whether low, high, or medium, and also you can work with log transformation. This is another data pre-processing where it reduces skewness of data. You can also compute your skewness and quartiles of your data, where you are handling large value ranges, right, by applying logarithmic conditions. So it's very important to whether it's right skew distribution. So reducing very large values outliers. All these are pre-processing, so that you have to keep strong in your mind. And how do you normalize high skew values, how to stabilize your variance, how what are the different model performance for linear. So y is equal to log of x. So log, if I'm going to give NP, what is numpy? It's for numerical Python, making an NP array, and then give log data is equal to NP dot log data. So using pandas also you can work on. So this is very, very important feature engineering that we call as recursive feature elimination, right? You select only the important features by recursively removing the non unwanted data. So what are the wanted data alone you take, and what is not strongly correlated. So you do with the fitting model, you rank the features importance, and then eventually you will be removing the least importance, and it repeats until it is recursive, right? It runs until you get it. So this is one of the very, very important methodology used for feature selection. All right, only top end features will be taken, reduces data set dimensionally. It also avoids overfitting of data, improves your model quality, often used with logical regression, SVM, and machine learning. It works both with RFE works as pre-processing, both classification and regression. Say for example, I'm loading the breast cancer data for feature selection. I'm using RFE here. all right, and then logical regression. So loading the data set, data and the target, giving me logical regression. Then I want to select only the top 10 features of RFE. I'm giving the model here. The model I've given is logical regression. So how many features? 10 features. If I fit on, it will give me the features and its ranking. So only those things I can give it to my ML model or DL model or GNA, whatever it is. Pre-processing pipeline. This is another structured sequence of data, right? Where it's very, very important to handle a missing values. If you want to do scaling or normalization, or you want to encode or RFE, and then you go for your final model training. This is like a pipelining, how you go chain by chain, chain by chain. All right, and also it's used for cross validations. So this is how you load your data, you do a scaling of data, logical regression, RFE pipeline. So I'm just importing my data set, I'm giving my data sets here, I'm splitting it and building the pipeline. First scalar, then feature selection, then model regression. So it does everything on the it does everything step by step from your data set to scaling of your data sets. If it's not linear, then you do your feature selection. One of the selected features will be put onto your logical regression model. Is it clear till now? Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you learn something new? All right. Before we end, let's have a simple multiple choice question. You all use your mobiles, right? Just scan this. Or you can type slido.com, give 1893343, give in your names, your own names. Quick, there are 5 multiple choice questions. Join the quiz fast. There's no registration, you can just type slido.com and give 1893343. Yes, please. Make it fast. Nobody has joined. You are able to join.
Ma'am, sorry.
Voice is breaking.
Ma'am,
Yeah, I can see one on my.
ma'am,
Yes, Sachin. Or can you put it on the chat? Voice is breaking. Only 2 have joined, others. I'm also giving the joining link on the chat. You can click the link and also join. All 3 methods are given. I'll wait for 2 more minutes. Jesus. Others are joining, or any difficulty you find? Yeah, I can see 5 out of 20. Okay, one more minute. Yeah, it's time. Let's begin. All right. What is the main purpose of RFE? To select most important features, all right. That's the right answer, and it was answered by Sukanya first, followed by Felicia. Let's move on to the second question of the day. What does pre-processing pipelines help prevent? You remember we discussed about pre-processing pipelines, starting from scaling, then feature elimination, and then developing the model. 7 of you have joined. Let's see. Click on the answer, right? Click on the answer. Data leakages, right? 67% have given. And on the first place, it's Felicia. And second, Radhalakshmi. Third, Sukanya. And fourth, Venkatesh. Let's move on to the third question of the day. Log transformation. You remember we discussed about log transformation. What is the use? Either to increase squeeners or converting categorical or reduce squeeners and stabilize variance or remove duplicates. All right. Time is done. And the right answer is reducing squeeners and stabilize variance. And on the first place, it's Felicia. Second, Radhalakshmi. Third, Sukanya. Manonmani, fourth place. And fifth, Venkatesh. Let's move on to the fourth question. You remember we discussed about binning. What is the use of binning? We want to convert numerical data into categorical, or we need to generate synthetic data, or multiple features needs to be encoded, or the data set is already normalized. Why do we do that? The answer is simple. 6 of you have answered out of 7. And the right answer is converting numericals into categories. And on the first place, it's Felicia. Second, it's Sukanya. Third, Rajalakshmi. Fourth, Kalaimani. And fifth, Fatima John. The last question that defines the winner of the day. Which technique is used to convert categorical into numerical forms? Which technique? The scaling or binning or encoding or RFE? Yes, the right answer is encoding. RFE reduces the frequency. Encoding, you remember we made male yes, female yes, no? All right. And the winner is Felicia. And yeah. Second place is Sukanya. Third is Fatima John. Fourth is Rajalakshmi. Fifth is Kalaimani. Congratulations to the winners. So we have 2 more minutes. Any questions you have? You could ask. And you can scan this QR code. What your name, your college name, and what are your 3 learnings or 3 learnings from the session? Top 3 learnings from the session. Can you share it, please? Quick. What are the three learnings from this session? You can scan the QR code. All right. Any questions you could ask? And again, we have a session at 2. All right. Wherein we'll be seeing about advanced data analytics and big data. Did you learn something new today in the session? That's not much. I'll give you the link of the QR if you find it difficult on the chat so that you can click it, give your name. I always think feedback should be when it is fresh and it stays strong. All right. What are your three learnings of today? Just click the link that is given, your name, your college, and what's your designation, or what are your three learnings of the session. All right, over to the organizers.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, your sessions reflect a rare blend of expertise, precision, and a genuine commitment to student development. Ma'am, your presence added a remarkable dimension of leadership and vision. The way you connect research with the purpose and knowledge with the impact has left a lasting impression on everyone present today. Thank you, ma'am, for insightful and enriching session on Python for AI and ML. This is to inform all participants that the upcoming session will start at 2 p.m. Kindly ensure that you join the meeting 5 minutes early for a seamless start. Your cooperation is appreciated. Thank you, one and all.
Welcome. Thank you, Sachin, and thank you all. See you again at 2.
Thank you. Thank you.